everyone, welcome to Face Paint tutorial for Face Paint Forum Shop. I'm Elizabeth Gale and I'm going to paint a rainbow rose design. So to get started, I'm using a rainbow cake from Tag, which is called Fairy Floss, and I love it. It's just a really soft, like delicate rainbow colour, and when you put your other details next to it, it doesn't take over the design. It just sits nicely in the background. So I've got some sponges which I've just cut up, but you could, if you've got a teardrop sponge, they'd be really good, so you can get right into the corner of the eye. So you start. I like to put the pink right on the inside of the eye, and then the other colours coming out. And then I'm using a boost stencil, and this is from the Daisy set, and they're really good value. They're only $2.99, and you get two for that price. So I'm just sponging on with a little finger dauber with using some DFX white on the bottom, and then turning it, flipping it, and then using the other side for the top part. And I always put a bit more stencil on than I think I'm going to see in the final design, if that makes sense. So if you go over it, you know, you've got it underneath coming through, so you haven't got these gaps. My daughter's very wriggly, so I have to keep moving her, sorry about that. And then to start the rose part of the design, I'm going to load up with a one-stroke cake which is called Evil Rose, and it's by DFX. And I've got a 1/2 inch flat brush. And I'm just going to start with a little, just a half loop going up and round, and then back underneath to halfway again underneath. And then the same coming across the front. And then you notice I keep reloading my brush so that I always do it so that the white's nice and crisp. And then for the outer petals of the rose, start on the tip of your brush. So you can see I'm going to do it here. So start on the tip of the brush and then press down and then lift up so you end up on the tip of the brush again. And I've tried loads of different brushes to make a rose shape and tried loads of different techniques, and this is the one that seems to work the best for me. And I find that the 1/2 inch flat angle brush is the best, but it's got to have firm bristles on it. So I'm just going around the edge, making this rose the biggest rose, and then the other roses are going to be getting slightly smaller as they go around the eye. Now I'm going to start on the next one exactly the same way, so just with a half a loop shape, and then up and into the middle and across the front. And then again around the edges, but I'm not going to make this one as big this time. And they don't have to be too perfect because you're going to go in and put some leaves over the top, so it'll hide any little mistakes. And then for the final one, just a half loop again, exactly the same way. When you're practicing roses, there's so many amazing painters out there that paint different techniques for roses. Some people paint them from the inside out, like this, or some people paint them from the outside in, so they do the outer petals first and then do the inner part. But just have a look and see how other people paint them and keep practicing. I think that's the best way to eventually then you get something that vaguely resembles a rose that you're happy with. And then I'm going to paint the leaves, and I'm using DFX Green Carpet. You could also use 3D Leaf or Snake, they have similar colours and they give the same effect. So I'm loading again with the 1/2 inch flat brush. And to start, I'm starting on the tip of the brush, the darker colour on the outside, and then dragging it down towards the rose, and slightly wiggling it at the same time. And just putting them wherever there's gaps in between the roses, and going slightly over the top of the rose to make it look like they're growing up through them. and some underneath going the other way. This design I always find is really popular, I think because it involves a rainbow. You've got flowers, and if they're older you can put glitter on it, and it appeals to the older children as well because it's just an eye design which they seem to sometimes favour more. It's really quick once you get the hang of it, take about 3 minutes. And then for the edges, so I'll just do some little wispy bits, so on the edge of the brush I'm just dragging the darker colour across. Just filling in and trying to make it curve around the eye and back up, so to the focal point, which is kind of the inner of the eye. Bless my daughter, she's desperately trying not to yawn. And then for the final part, I'm using a low Cornell number 4 brush and in some DFX white. I'm just making it quite gloopy so that you can get some nice round dots. And they're just filling, I just put these in, I think it looks nice against the dark green, but they also hide any bits, tidy up any bits that look a bit messy. And when you put them around the edges of the eye design, they also help to connect it round. So it looks like it's helping to curve round the design around the eye. And that's the design finished. So, but sometimes if I've got more time, or you could do it on both sides, and you could do a rose in the middle of the forehead, so that it comes right round both sides and into the forehead, so almost like a crown. That looks really nice as well. And then to finish off, I'm just using some DFX pink with this. This one is rose gold. It's got a little bit of glitter in. It's really nice. Just to do the lips. But this is my daughter, so I'm using a paintbrush. But normally I would use a Q-tip. And that's the completed design. I hope you enjoyed it and it's something that you could use. Don't forget to visit Face Paint Forum shop for more tutorials and all these supplies. Thank you. Goodbye.